Pin it.
Put a pin in it, Vanessa.
Oh my God! Look at that! Look at what's behind him.
What am I
Hello.
looking at?
His room is sick.
Hold on, I gotta play his intro.
You.
Everyone, would you please welcome to the Putting You Over podcast, Mexican-born, Canadian-raised, El Diablo, Gabriel Fuerza.
There we go. Touche.
It's a good intro.
Yeah, Ryan Romano, our hype man, does
Very
them
nice.
for us all the time. Sends them to me on Twitter. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hoping my hotspot keeps up because my Wi-Fi is terrible. Just figured out how to use a hotspot.
Wi-Fi not good up there in Canada?
No, it's awful. Everyone's working from home, so
Yeah.
the whole neighborhood is just like crap.
That's all right. We're a crappy show, and it's fine. Don't worry about it. Vanessa, what did you pop for back there? Because there is a lot.
I just there was so much to look at. I didn't
It
really
is,
know.
right?
Like I can see Randy Orton over his one shoulder,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I can't really focus in on anything specifically. There was just so much there.
I got a lot of tchotchkes.
Yeah, you should see we can see part of it, but you should see the rest. And it's sad actually when you get to my age and you have this much left. It's kind of sad.
Nah.
Yeah, right.
I don't think so.
No, I'm fine. See, I'm thrown off by that phenomenal background. Oh, you just watched The Dark Knight Rises.
I did yesterday.
Why did it take you so long to get to that movie? I know it's not the best of the three, but why so long?
I had already seen it. I just hadn't
Okay.
seen it since then.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
But
But honestly, watching it back, I think I liked it better than The Dark Knight.
oh my God.
I know. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, it's not as good as The Dark Knight. That sucks.
Okay.
But watching it back, maybe it's just because it's an easier watch. I know it's long, but it's got more of the traditional big finale tropes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Kind of a bit more of a popcorn film. And looking back, the best thing about The Dark Knight for me was the Joker.
True.
I've never been a fan of Christian Bale's depiction of Batman, but I think in The Dark Knight Rises, it's the closest he got to being what I interpret as Batman.
This is great. This is going to be a great show already, Vanessa. We aren't going to get to any wrestling. We've
had this conversation before.
we have.
Who's the best Batman?
We have had this conversation, but he said something that I've said on this show. The Dark Knight is not a Batman movie. It is a Joker movie.
Yeah,
yes.
agree.
See,
100%.
Gabriel agrees.
It doesn't even have to be about Batman or the Joker. That's why it's so good, because it
Yeah.
could be about just a mob and vigilante.
Sure. Yep.
But
Yeah. It is my favorite, but it now makes me want to go back and watch The Dark Knight Rises, because I think I've only seen it maybe once. So maybe I should go back and watch it.
I had only seen it the one time too, and all I kind of came out of it was Bane speaks funny, and that's fun to impersonate.
Right.
But this time I was pleasantly blown away.
Okay.
I mean, I love Christopher Nolan as a director. Everything he does is so crisp and clean.
Yeah.
So I knew that I was gonna enjoy, but the whole movie itself I thought was great.
The other debate we've had on here multiple times is who is the best Batman? Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, Clooney, Christian Bale.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck was in that list. We actually included him.
I don't know. Adam West. I think I included Adam West.
True, we did include Adam West.
I would say Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
First choice, and the more I think about it, the more I agree Keaton.
Yeah.
There's been a few good ones, but I'm excited to see actually Robert Pattinson's version.
I know they just came out with a new trailer. I don't think I've seen it yet, though. I picked Christian Bale, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I love The Dark Knight so much.
It might.
But I also did go to the theaters when that original 1989 Tim Burton Batman came out. So, Vanessa,
I think that was
Go ahead.
It's just like untouchable, the Tim Burton ones. Like I know
Yeah.
they're of like a different era and like they're campier and whatnot, but I think they hit just the right amount of campiness
Right.
versus like dark kind of moodiness.
Yeah.
Where like the Adam West stuff is fun to watch, like it's funny, and the
Yeah.
Christian Bale stuff is a little bit more on the realism side, less fantastical. Tim Burton, I think, hits that like nice middle point for me.
Well, it is campiness, the 1989 Batman, but I'm going to definitely date myself here, Gabriel. I was in 5th grade when it came out. So I saw it. Yeah, I think so. I think I saw it in 5th grade at the theaters. And it was phenomenal. So it doesn't seem campy to me. My feeling inside still when I first watched it doesn't seem campy. I don't know. But yeah. So were there any other debates we had about Batman? I can't remember, Vanessa. That was it, right?
I think that's been it.
That's been it. But I'm excited. You have a Bane impression? Can we hear it?
Oh, it's not good.
That's okay. Hey, that's a good one.
It's not good. It's just you just cover your mouth and talk with a British accent, basically.
The best part about that, Gabriel, was as you said that.
You want to hear it?
Well, hold on a sec. Hold on. As you said it, I do want to hear it. But as you said it, your hotspot like tweaked out a bit, and it actually sounded like Bane. It was weird. So yes, give it to us. Let's say whatever you want. Say whatever you want as Bane.
Oh God. I'm trying to think of what I used to enjoy saying when he came out. I don't know. I mean, the beginning when he says, it would be extremely painful.
I had to look down because if I looked at you while you did it, I was like, well, that's not going to be any good.
It's not good. It's just all my impressions are on like the ridiculous side. You know what I mean? Like I pick one little like awkward tendency that the kind of accent revolves around, and then I just like blow it up.
Well,
so they're never good.
It's like everybody has a Bane impression. Everybody has a Savage impression. Everyone does it. So
yeah.
The other thing I learned about you today was that not only yourself, but your entire family hates the Karate Kid.
Yeah. No, okay, hate might be a strong word. We just think it sucks.
Okay, you're right. Hate is a strong word. You're right. That's a great point. It does not suck, first of all. Your family, why is there anything that you can pinpoint to why you have so much distaste for the Karate Kid?
Yeah, actually, you're not the first person to ask me, so I've had time to think about it a little.
Even better.
It's not that I hate the movie itself, or even dislike the movie itself. I don't think personally, watching it now, it's very entertaining. But what really makes me go from like just a movie to like a movie I don't like is that it's constantly getting pegged as like a great action movie or like a great martial arts movie.
Okay.
And it has absolutely minimal action.
Very minimal action.
It has almost nothing. It has almost no martial arts. The little bit of martial arts that it has are campy at best and fake at worst. I grew up watching like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. Like my dad is like a huge Bruce Lee fanatic. Like that's the stuff I grew up watching. So when I went back and watched The Karate Kid, I was like, damn, this sucks. I think the Jackie Chan version is way better. And
I'm sure
it's not because like Jackie Chan is in it. It's just because it has like a little bit more. It's just more grounded. You know what I mean? Like 80s stuff tends to be so like
the greatest things ever. Yeah, you're right.
It's just so fantastical. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the 80s. I like the aesthetic. I like the music. I like a lot about it. But the whole like, there's just this like aura of like
it lives in its own world.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't suit everything, and I think Karate Kid is like a good example of like not great 80s stuff.
You said something in there that you said not Jackie Chan. Well, Bruce Lee did the Karate Kid better. So was the Karate Kid
Jackie Chan did it better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
in like
Bruce
2011 or
Lee, I
whatever.
think, has been gone for a while.
Yes,
Yeah.
what I was asking was, I thought he said Bruce Lee. I might have heard Bruce Lee, and then I thought to myself, is the Karate Kid a remake? Like, am I missing something? I'm not a
No.
Bruce Lee fan. To me, growing up, what I saw in the Karate Kid was martial arts. I remember doing the crane kick to my younger brother, hit him in the hip, and he like knocked him right out. I felt so bad.
Well, you know what? Now that you mention it, that's another like minor issue I have with it.
The crane kick?
I did karate. No, not the crane kick. Crane kick's cool.
Okay.
That whole thing's cool. But even though crane kick's actually not a karate move, it's a kung fu move.
And I believe it was illegal. It was illegal.
It was illegal. You're right. But I grew up doing karate, so like I did karate for like 10, 15 years as a kid. And I sort of kind of got educated to the fact that there were like McDojos all over Canada, all over the States. And if you go back, the Karate Kid is what started all these crappy karate schools full of people who don't know what they're doing, who kind of figured it out on the internet, opened up a school, and now are teaching a bunch of dumb, impressionable kids.
Yeah.
And then they go out and they think they know how to defend themselves and they get their asses kicked.
Yeah, that's right.
I look at it the same way that if there's like a bunch of bad wrestling schools and kids are going out and getting themselves hurt, that's something I look down on. So in my head, a karate school is the same thing. If you're teaching kids the wrong way and they're going out and getting hurt, it's detrimental, right?
It
and
is.
if the Karate Kid had any part in that, then it's a minor thing. Because at the end of the day, people are going to go and do whatever the hell they want. So it's not the movie's fault, but it kind of is.
It kind of is. Yeah, everybody wanted to be cool, like Daniel.
I get it.
I mean, but this does lead into a good. I guess we can talk wrestling. You didn't mention wrestling school. We will get to that because what you said you want to leave the wrestling business better than you found it, which I think was phenomenal. And I know that you have aspirations of opening a wrestling school. So we will get to that unless I forget, which I've been known to do. Now, something else, you're a Mexican born and Canadian raised. So you're a Mexican Canadian, which I didn't know was a thing. Now, okay, so my first question, which is an ignorant of me, first of all, but when did you move to Canada?
I was like 3.5.
Okay, so
I'm pretty much Canadian.
Yeah, so like me saying, was there a culture shock? Not really much when you're 3, for the most part.
No, but you'd be surprised how much of a culture shock there was afterwards.
Okay, explain.
Like I was telling a friend of mine, and it was just kind of a joke, but I realized how serious I was as I was telling it. I went on vacation a few years ago with a friend of mine who's also in the wrestling business, and he's just a white guy, just standard white guy, French descent. And one of the days that we were hanging out, the family said to me, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna do a taco night," and I'm like, "Oh, that sounds fun." And I remember walking into the kitchen and seeing what they referred to as tacos, and thinking to myself, "Holy shit! Like, this is totally wrong. It's not even a single ingredient here is right. Not one. Like, those are the wrong tortillas. That's the wrong kind of meat, the wrong kind of veggies." And obviously I didn't tell them that.
Right.
But like, that was a little bit of a culture shock there. And even going forward, another friend of mine, I was at her house and her sister was there and she was making God, I don't even remember what she called them. They were these like vegan keto like tortilla things, and I think they were made of like I don't know, eggs and something. And I tried one. I'm like, this is disgusting. This is not a tortilla. You can't call this a tortilla. It offends me that you call it a tortilla. It's a wrap. That's fine. You can use the word wrap for any flat bread.
Right.
But not everything is a tortilla.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Little things like that where it's not so much of a culture shock in the sense that like Canada's very different, which it is, but more so my family is very different than other families. Like we still think very like Mexican, and like our viewpoints are very Mexican. Like we celebrate like the Day of the Dead and stuff like that. Like other people don't, and they confuse that with Halloween. And so like just little things like that. Obviously there was no culture shock at 3 because
right, you're 3.
3-year-old.
Yeah.
But in the years since, there's been a few instances.
Yeah. Awesome. So when did you realize you wanted to wrestle? When does that happen?
I think it would have been probably grade 8.
Okay.
So I would have been 12 or 13. I think that's when I decided that, like, yeah, if I have the chance, I'll give it a try. I didn't really like think about it at the time. Like, I wasn't a kid who ever thought ahead.
Thought that far ahead, yeah. Neither was I.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you athletic? Were you into sports? Go ahead.
You know what? I think that I was much more athletic then and much stronger then than
Wow.
I am now. Like, I like I said, I did karate and stuff like that. I'd always be jumping
that's true.
around, climbing trees. Like, your bones feel great; they don't hurt.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
hurts. You
remember
feel
those
like $1 million
things.
bucks. Yeah, at the time, I thought I had a chance, but I was always like a short kid, so
Yeah.
that was always kind of in the back of my head.
For anybody who's never seen Gabriel Fuerza, Gabriel Fuerza, he's trained at he trained at Squared Circle with Rob Fuego, and I believe also at Battle Arts, I believe.
Yeah.
And if I was describing you, I would call you I would say you remind me of like the Cruiserweight division in WCW in 1997 or 8. I want to say
God, that's the best compliment I've ever
I
gotten.
want to say like obviously Mysterio, you do some high flying things, but I want to say like Malenko, because you don't stop. You're like a workhorse.
Thank you.
And I think that's the vibe I get from you. Am I on point?
That's the vibe I'm trying to give off. So,
good.
I hope you're I would say yes.
Malenko, extremely underrated, and he was highly praised. Still underrated.
I agree. There's like a set of wrestlers that I like hold up above everybody else, and Dean is one of them. Yeah. He just had the way he worked. Like, it wasn't just the work rate, it wasn't just the moves, it wasn't just the knowledge. It was like the snap, the cadence, the everything. Like
crisp.
Just like him, Guerrero, Benoit, Angle, and honestly, that might be it. Like, I gotta look at my wall of wrestlers here. Like, honestly, I think that's it. Like, there's not a lot of guys that I consider to be like top workhorses. Like, even Jericho doesn't make it onto that list, and I think the world of him.
Yeah,
it's just like I said, it's just like a snap, a cadence, makes everything look amazing.
It does. Just talking about Malenko makes me want to go back and watch some of those matches. For sure. And I think where I first saw you wrestle, I want to say was Crossbody, maybe, or Barry. one of those two. I can't remember. I know Barry is what I guess classify that as your home base, I guess.
Yeah.
And then venture out from there. So that's where I first recognized you. The one of the things I wanted to ask you, because I did my research, was this: you won the women's title for Barry Wrestling.
Yeah.
And we won't get into the details. Like, you fought Jody Threat, you wrestled, you won, all that jazz. But hearing you talk about it, I can't remember what podcast it was on, but I heard you tell this story, and it sounded to me, was this a missed opportunity for them to enhance and advance their women's division?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
150%. I still bug the promoter about this. Because like I always try, no matter which promotion I'm in, like, as long as I have a little bit of creative control, I try my best to make the whole show better. Like,
right.
My match is gonna be the way it's gonna be, but like, there's more to it than that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my match necessarily to be more important than anybody else's match, but I want it to be as important and as helpful to the show as possible. So in my head, the promoter was having a bit of trouble because he introduced the women's belt,
Right.
and he put it on Jody, and conflicts with scheduling happened, and it was getting difficult to bring in girls. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of girls in Ontario for people to work, so he had Alexia there practically every month, but some months he didn't have any girls for her to work. So it was my idea to say, hey, why don't I beat Jody?
Yep.
Dirty. She beats the crap out of me, and I beat her dirty.
Yep.
And then
Because
and
she
then
was
the
a
very
face
next day,
and you were the heel at this time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I said the very next day, I'll give the belt up to Alexia, and then whatever you want to do from there. If you want Jody to beat her again, cool.
Right.
If you want Alexia to beat her dirty again, then that's even cooler. Because Alexia didn't have any heat.
Right.
Like, it started off that she had heat, and then she low blowed a ref, and you know how fans are. They were like, "Holy crap, that's awesome!"
Do it again.
So they started to cheer her. So this was my idea, to get Alexia a little bit of heat, figure out how to get the belt off of Jody, because Jody was doing a lot of work in the States.
Yep.
And unfortunately couldn't be in Barrie all the time. So in my head, this was like, killing two birds with one stone. And the promoter just didn't go for it, which is fine. But then he was stuck in the position where Jody held on to the belt for another like 6 months or something, and the women's division unfortunately kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually win it. It was actually a dusty finish.
Yeah.
Because I honestly just wanted a picture with the belt.
Right. And you've with that you have won or have had all the titles in Barrie wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. So there you go. Got that. Hang your hat on. Was that right before like the main first shutdown? I guess, right? Was that right before the first shutdown?
Not right before, but I think it was
close
on
to
the
it.
tail end of 2019.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking that would have been
around
perfect.
the corner.
That would have been get all the heat on Alexia,
have
her win it. Everything shuts down. Then she could just cut a bunch of heelish promos. How she's never going to defend that title ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been good. But yeah, I could hear it. Maybe it's a sort of subject. I don't know. I don't know your history. But hearing you tell the story, I said to myself, man, he feels so strongly about that situation, about that opportunity to build those other two, not those other two ladies up, but an entire women's division up, that he just feels like, shit, we missed it. We missed that opportunity. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a sore spot or anything,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm definitely like, damn, like that could have been good. Or, maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. But unfortunately we never got to see.
Von Vertigo. Tag team partner, friend, trained together. You wrestled him in Barrie Wrestling for the world title. What's he mean to you as a person, as a wrestler, as a tag partner?
Probably the closest person to me that's not family.
That's not family.
Yeah. Just a great guy. Like, I always tell this story, but I'll tell it really quick. When we trained together, on the weekends I would have to take a bus, which took about 2.5 hours to get to training.
Wow.
And obviously that sucked.
Yeah.
So I remember one day I kind of jokingly said to all the boys, I was like, hey, who's going to drive me home? Ha ha ha, right? And he kind of stuck his hand up and he said, you can come with me and my dad. And I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, I live in Port Hope. I know you're in Pickering, so we drive that way anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's great. So, we went on our merry way, and from there we started to travel together. And before long, he admitted to me that he hated me when I started training, because, he had been training for a year or two before me, and he had just kind of started to get his footing right, and he was just starting to do, like high spots and like flips and stuff like that. And I came in, and I think on my second day I did like a shooting star, and he was like, look, who the hell is this fucking guy, like coming in here taking my spot,
showboating.
And it's just so crazy to me that he had such strong feelings towards me that he would say that he hated me, and he still offered me a ride and still gave me the benefit of the doubt, and now we're friends.
Awesome.
And I mean, that if that doesn't show you like a big person, like I don't know what does. Like,
right.
I don't know. I don't know if I would have offered the drive to somebody I didn't like.
Right. Yeah, and you guys, everything I've ever heard you say about him, all high stuff. You said the other thing I took away that I really was nice to hear. You were wrestling him for Barry for the championship. I can't remember who had the title at the time.
He did.
But you wanted to do whatever you could do because you felt he was rightly deserving. You wanted to make him shine as best as possible in the match, and that's just great to hear. It's just good stuff.
Yeah, I just feel that's the way wrestling should be. Like, as long as everybody's trying to make the other guy look good, then everybody's gonna look good. If you're just trying to make yourself look good,
right?
Maybe you do look good,
right?
But maybe you don't. You know.
Wrestling during the pandemic with no crowds at the time was new to everybody. Were there any pros to doing it? Advantages?
I'm sure there was, but
Right.
I couldn't really think of any. Like, there was no energy in the building. You know, everybody was tired. Everyone's like, "Oh God, like, is it time to go up yet? Like, can we go first so we can leave?" You know, it's just a totally different feeling. It was no longer like fun to just hang out.
Right.
It was still fun to wrestle, but it wasn't fun to hang out.
Right. And I've heard people say before, like, they feed off the crowd. Makes sense. I played sports. Makes sense. You feed off the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
What did you feed off of, if anything, when there's no crowd? Like, what do you use to crank it up a notch, I guess?
Well, I only had 2 matches,
Okay.
2 like proper matches,
Right.
With no crowd. The first one was awful. There was just there was there was nothing to it. Like, everything was awkward. No one to play off of, and no story. Like, it was just kind of like a blank match. The second one though, that one I managed to kind of create a bit of a character for myself because it was more of like a spotty like Christmas show.
Okay.
So for that show, I was like dubbed the Grinch. So that was a lot easier to play off of because I genuinely don't like Christmas. I was just I genuinely don't. And it was just a lot easier because I went to theater school for 5 years. So like this way, I was able to like say, okay,
hone it in.
It doesn't matter if there's nobody there. You're gonna play to the camera because eventually someone's gonna hear it. So just find a camera, play up to that, and that helped me get through it. And I think it made the match a lot better because I was kind of being funny, like I was like a funny heel. So
is that the Backyard Pro Christmas thing? Brendan's?
No, that was the Go Hard.
Go Hard. That's right.
Yeah.
Brendan was on here talking about it. It was Go Hard for Christmas. Oh man, what an insane character he is. Holy. He's been on here, I think, a handful of times, and every time we take lots of quick lefts. But he's a great person. But he is in a smart. I was just on his Instagram Live today. He was talking to. I missed the start of it, so I don't know who it was. I want to say it was a wrestling photographer. It was good stuff.
Brian Weiss, I think.
Is that who? Yeah, that sounds about right. The last name. It was good stuff. So so Brendan's a good guy. But Backyard Pro, I know that's in season 3.
Yep.
That seems exciting. Seems fun.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Keeps what's the crazy? There's been a lot of crazy shit. What has been the craziest thing you've done for Backyard Pro?
Honestly, there hasn't been anything crazy. Like the first little thing we did, I took a destroyer like on the grass.
Okay.
And at the time, I thought like, "Oh, this is stupid but fun." Yeah, I mean, I haven't done anything dangerous. Like, I've taken some like bumps that I didn't need to on the grass, but nothing crazy. It's all been fun. I don't mind taking a thrashing.
Why not, right? Pardon me for a second. What do you want to say, sweetie?
That's what I'm saying. I'm going back.
All right. Good night. I love you. Hold on. I have three. Here comes my faction. My faction of the Daughters of Anarchy. You going to bed?
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
I hit 300 followers.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Good night. The third won't come down. She's way too cool.
Yes, I did.
I'm not talking to you or about you. So that's their thing. They like to interrupt the shows now.
That's all right.
So it all works out. But yeah, Backyard Pro is some great stuff. I know if we've posted a link in the chat, so if nobody has ever seen it, just go twitter.com pro backyard, find their stuff there. Then you know just fall down the rabbit hole and you'll be fine. It'll be all good. Woo! I tell you, I got one more wrestling question, and then I got a couple non-wrestling questions, I guess. The next one, I'm gonna put you in a triple threat match. But it's going to be yourself, and then you get to pick the next two. A wrestler from today's product, whoever that may be, and a wrestler from the past. I guess when I say past, it can be alive or dead. You know, it can be alive or passed on, or not with us, I guess, is the correct language. I don't know. You, a wrestler from the past, and a wrestler from today's product.
Normally, I would very easily just say Amazing Red and Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'm going to change it up today. Today I'm going to go Bandito and the original Tiger Mask.
The original Tiger Mask and Bandito. Maybe we'll see you and Bandito in Ring of Honor. I'd like to see that.
That Bandito's definitely at the top of my list, like for current guys right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if Red is still active anymore, but Red's number 1 and Bandito's like 1B.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about Bandito until I saw him in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Good shit. That'd be a hell of a triple threat for sure. I'm being asked in the chat by one of our longtime viewers, Spuddy, a Canadian himself, Spuddy from Canada. He says, "Can you ask him about wrestling figures?" So. Yeah.
What do you want to know?
I don't know. What do you want to know, Spuddy? Do you collect them? Are you a hardcore? Would you consider yourself a hardcore collector of wrestling figs?
I would say no. Only because I've just kind of started, like, my whole room is full of wrestling, and like I got horror figures over here. I got wrestling stuff over there. I got this. This is just my Eddie Guerrero stuff here.
Yeah.
And like I got sort of Spider-Man stuff, Superman stuff. Sorry, my cat's bugging me now.
That's right.
But no, I wouldn't say it's hardcore. I just grab the guys I like.
Yeah, like, that's what I do.
Like, I mean, I have like a ton of Rays, a ton of Eddies, a few Kofis, Andrade, Umaga, like just the guys I like. I don't go crazy and grab like people that I don't really care for, or I don't grab stuff that I don't think visually looks nice. You know.
Do you take them?
I would say I'm like a casual. With a little bit more than a casual, whatever's between casual and like, you know, expert, somewhere in the middle.
And you take them out of the box, correct?
Normally I do not.
Ooh.
Normally I do not, unless I have doubles or the box is like shredded.
See, that to me would be the definition of hard. I get hardcore might not be the right word, but a collector if they keep them in the box.
I would call myself a collector.
Okay.
Just not very gung ho, you know, like I just like the way they look on the walls.
There you go.
I think it's nice decor.
Spuddy harasses me. Spuddy in Canada harass me all the time. Get into collecting figures. Get into them. I can't do that. You just saw my.
It's a lot of work.
You just saw my family walk down here one at a time. You think I got time to go spend money on figures? But I have gone out and purchased. I bought a Darby Allin because I like him. I have all my LJNs from when I was a kid, but
those, I mean, that's a like a lot of my collector friends would say that in itself is a collection.
I have my dad to thank for that because he kept them. They're beat up. They're not like pristine. Like we destroyed
character.
them. And he gave them all, and we washed. They're done. The kids play with them. So, but yeah. There it is. There you go, Spuddy. There's your figure question. So, all right. So I lied. I did have another wrestling question. I saw it at the top and I skipped over it. Is kayfabe a word?
Like in the dictionary?
Yeah. Is it real?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a real word. I still try to live by it to a degree.
That's good. I respect that.
But I don't know. I mean, it bugs me when people pull the curtain completely back.
Yeah.
I like the world is changing, and
For sure.
socials are changing everything. But I don't think that just because you're a fan that grants you access
Right.
behind the curtain. I know some people are a little more open, and some people are a little more closed. I think fans need to like respect the boundary. Like be a fan. It's fun to be a fan. I was a
love
fan
kayfabe.
for years. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to know everything that's happening on. I never read dirt sheets. I never read spoilers. I never read anything. I just watch and I enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. I think pulling the curtain back too much is no fun. It ruins wrestling. Like I hate it when fans are online and they're like, "Oh, that was dangerous. Wrestlers shouldn't do stuff like that." It's like, don't tell me what to do.
No
Don't
shit.
tell anybody what to do.
No shit.
Like we're trained professionals. If we make mistakes, that's on us.
Yeah.
And it's not up to you to decide what's safe or what isn't, or what's acceptable and what isn't. Like in terms of the wrestling, I don't storylines. That's a different thing. Fans can voice their opinions on stuff like that.
Right.
But there needs to be a clear, this is the side where the people who work in wrestling are, and this is the side where people who are fans are. And just the line gets more and more muddy, especially because people start to work on the graphics, or as photographers or podcasters or journalists, whatever, and then they're kind of like, well, am I still on the fan side or am I in the
Exactly.
production side? And I get that. Makes it much more confusing. But yeah, no, I try to kayfabe as much as I can. Like I don't even tell people my real name typically, and if they find out, I'm like, how did you find out? Like I don't have you on Facebook. How did you find out?
See, that's all right. So me and Vanessa, we love kayfabe. Like we've had some guests where we did the whole show in character.
That's fun.
And
I think that's a lot of fun.
I enjoy it. And it's funny. You said people don't. I assumed that was your real name. So
oh really?
I'm living by that. You'll always be Gabriel Fuerza to me.
Perfect.
And I lied again. I guess I've lied again. I guess that's now my gimmick.
I was just gonna jump off of
Go ahead.
what he said with like people doing moves. So I don't know if you follow or if you've seen Crowbar. He's made the statement about the suicide dive, that move, or I don't remember what he called Asaido. I'm terrible.
Are they going to the outside or flipping to the outside?
They're like, it's like it's a suicide dive. So like they're jumping through the ropes and they're going like head first, neck first kind of thing. Like
with the no arms.
Yeah, with no arms.
Yeah.
So he was saying how that like move, we should kind of just get away from that move because you're going head first, neck first, and you're just trusting somebody to catch you. So do you kind of agree with that, or you trust who you're working with and you go from there?
No, I don't agree with that. I think wrestling is designed to look nasty. It's designed to be theatrical. That particular suicide dive, in Mexico, it's just called a tope. It's just the headbutt, right? So I would encourage people to not do it if you're not trained that way, because a lot of people do lucha things and they're not trained for lucha. They just kind of figure it out, or they modify it to make it suit their needs. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it looks kind of sloppy. But a move like that, where you're right, it is very dangerous. You're trusting the guy with your whole body, and a lot of people, they think they can do it, and then it turns out that they can't. A move like that, I would encourage people to go to Mexico and actually get trained to do it if they want to do it so badly. However, I just don't. I can't agree with like moving away from any moves at all. Really, wrestling is a physical sport. People know that they're going to end up hurt for life, whether it's just the aches and pains in their body or their head's not right anymore. That's just the risk that you're taking. And if you're willing to do a move like that, that is dangerous. That's the risk that you're taking. And if you're willing to trust somebody with your body like that, that's the risk that you're taking. And you better hope that that person is, going to be there to post. And if they're not, then that's quite frankly your mistake and their mistake. Wrestling is like a dance. If one of the dance partners slips up, then it could be catastrophic for both people. But to move away from everything that is dangerous, I think would be completely backwards, and we'd have nothing left. Everything in wrestling is dangerous. You can get hurt doing a tope just as much as you can get hurt, taking a headlock takeover, and you slip out of the guy's arms and you spike your head into the floor. Oof. So wrestling is dangerous, no matter which way you put it. So no, I don't think we should move away from anything. I think it's up to the individual to decide whether they're willing to take that risk or not. Personally.
Excellent. Phenomenal question. That actually leads into so I guess I do have a couple more wrestling questions that keep popping in, because I didn't want to not touch on the wrestling school. I did hear that is something you would like to do someday, and I can hear in your voice about passing that knowledge and making the wrestling world better. Like you said, go learn lucha. Could you have a wrestling school? Could you teach lucha?
I personally could not, because I'm not well versed enough in lucha.
Okay.
But if I were to go to Mexico and put in my hours there, then I would feel comfortable. I think it's all about just being honest with yourself. Like anybody can open up a school. Anybody can wrestle for 5 years and decide that they want to open up a school, and they'll get students 100% of the time. Whether they succeed financially is one thing, but they'll always get students.
Like those Karate Kid dojos.
Exactly.
They're gonna show up.
I got asked to do seminars, here and there over the past few years, and every time I would say no, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Like I cannot, in good conscience, take your money and then give you this shitty knowledge. Like I'm learning. I'm just learning. So to open up a school, like I would want to wait another 5 to 10 years where I can confidently say, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Now I can teach you how to do it correctly, how to do it safely, and not just focus on like the wrestling, but like, everything that goes on around it, how to conduct yourself, as a businessman, how to respect the actual art form of wrestling itself, respect the ring, stuff like that, like stuff that I feel could be implemented into wrestling schools a little better, just so people have more respect for wrestling. Because it's not that people don't have respect. I think it's just that, we live in like a very me world, and it's very easy to just forget that it's not about you. You're just a little spoke in the wheel, and that's why like I try so hard to leave wrestling better than I found it, because I mean, who knows? Maybe I make it somewhere, and I make money and I have clout and whatever. Yeah. Maybe I don't. To me, that's not super important. To me, it's about just helping wrestling continue. So yeah, I feel like I kind of went off on a tangent there.
That's great stuff. And actually, I'm going to hold all my other questions and everything else, because it leaves the door open for a return appearance from Gabriel Fuerza. So you said it perfectly right there. At the end of every show, I give the mic to the guest. The floor is yours. You can put over anything you want. You can bury anyone you want. You say anything you want. I don't care. Go ahead, my dear friend.
God, I mean, I guess I'll plug my socials. What am I? Twitter is Fuerza Stupapi. If you wanna see some salty takes, I don't know. People say I have hot takes, and I genuinely don't think they're hot. I think they're just like, I think I just say things that I feel are kind of true, and sometimes it offends people.
Oh, that's great. That's what I love.
So maybe don't follow me if you're easily
triggered.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say triggered, because I don't like attack anybody. Right. I'm just like, I just make observations and throw them into the ether, and if you like them, like them, and if you don't, unfollow me. It's fine. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Where's the rules? Not much going on there right now. I'm just throwing up old clips, but yeah, I guess that'll be a quick quick way to get what's the word, caught up on my stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube channel, same thing. Just look up Gabriel Fuerza. Got a pro wrestling tees store, all that stuff. Backyard Pro season 3 is in production right now. Please be on the lookout. Season 3 is going to be the best season yet. And if you missed season 1 and season 2, it's up on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
That's about it, man. That's all. You guys want to talk Superman? I heard you guys wanted to talk Superman.
Did I want to talk Superman? No, I'll talk Marvel though.
Okay.
Well, can I just side note? We did not speak on his phenomenal T-shirt.
I can't. You know what? I almost brought it.
We love Sami Zayn dancing.
That's what it is, right?
Our thing.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I thought it was. I couldn't tell, and he was telling a great story, and I'm like trying to go like this, and I can't see it. So
that's it right there.
I am obsessed. First of all, I love Sami Zayn. Love El
too.
Generico.
Yeah.
And am obsessed with his dancing. Like,
he's a great dancer.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Anybody who like is really into ska is always a great dancer.
That's a good point. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, it's true.
I usually spend my Friday night sitting by a campfire with this 1 30-second clip I have of Sami Zayn dancing over Kevin Owens' body. And I just
Mojo's music.
Yeah, I just add it to all sorts of music. I mean, I'm talking 80s music. I'm talking Footloose. I'm talking anything I can think of. And I just sit there and I just make myself. Can I say make myself pop? I'm not in the business. Can I pop myself? I popped myself.
Of course you can. You popped yourself.
Yes, I can. Popped myself by the fire. Yeah, great guy. And that shirt's for a great cause too. That's why I picked it up. Yeah, for sure. Get it after you get. Well, I guess you can get the good cause shirt first. We'll let you slide this time. Then get Gabriel Fuerza stuff at Pro Wrestling Tees and do it this weekend.
20% off right now.
See,
that's right.
That's why I keep. That's why she's here. 20% off. I don't know what the promo code is. Memorial Day.
Memorial.
Just Memorial. But yeah, that's some great stuff. So yeah, Marvel. What did I want to say about Marvel? I don't know. Well, are you bigger DC? Well, we talked about Batman and Superman. Are you bigger? Are you bigger DC than Marvel?
No, Marvel's probably still king, but I would say Superman's probably my favorite comic book character.
Okay, comic book character. Gotcha.
That usually shocks people because like I'm so grumpy and like about everything.
He's so up.
And it's true, but Superman is the ideal to strive for.
A Superman.
Yeah, I really think Superman's power, like his best superpower, is not his strength, anything like that. It's just how good of a person he is.
Oh, jeez.
I know it's cheesy, and it's I'm typically not that way, but something about Superman just
You don't. I mean,
so who is the best Superman?
Christopher Reeve, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's easy. I don't even think that's a question.
Henry Cavill was pretty good.
He was fine. He is very sexy, and that certainly
that's
helps.
A hot take.
Oh, come on. Henry Cavill, he's got to be like the hottest man on the planet.
He is.
He's not lying.
Who's hotter than Henry
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe the guy who plays Aquaman, some people like him.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess he's fairly good looking as well.
I mean, I guess they're all good looking, but yeah, Henry Cavill's fine. He certainly looks like Superman.
That's good, true.
But I don't know. There's something so like rigid about his performance. And Christopher Reeve, he just like really nails the whole like nerd thing, and it's not.
He does nail the nerd.
It's not.
He's got Clark down. He's got Clark Kent down better. I think that's what it is.
No, I think he's got Superman down better too. But like, what I mean is like he envelops the whole character. You know what I mean? Like he's unassuming without being like offensive. You know what I mean? Like he's charming without realizing it. He's a good person, and he doesn't realize that that's attracting people to him. You know what I mean? Like he thinks like, oh, I'll just be awkward and like spill things, and people will think, oh yeah, I don't like. I'll stay away from that guy. You know, like I won't notice that guy. But like just the little things that he does, where he's like such a good guy, that is attractive. And I don't just mean like to the opposite sex. I just
Right.
mean like that
Something to
is an
strive
attractive
for.
quality.
You said it. Strive for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't. Tobey Maguire. He's got a nerdy quality.
See, I think Tobey Maguire is I don't want to say the best Spider-Man because he's not.
He's not.
the best
You're right.
Peter Parker.
Okay.
Okay. But I mean, Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man.
Yes.
I can't deny it. Andrew Garfield can fucking go to hell. He sucks. He's terrible.
Relax, Vanessa. Nobody even remembers the names of the Spider-Man movies he was in.
I don't remember any of the Spider-Man movies.
I can tell you all of them. Spider-Man's definitely number 2 for me. So
the new
but, yeah, no, I argue.
Coming out soon, yeah.
I argue all the time about Tobey Maguire because people are like, Tobey Maguire, he's such an overactor. He's so like ugly crier. And I'm like, yo, Peter Parker is supposed to be an absolute dork.
Yes.
Like scum of the high school. Nobody likes him. You expect me to believe that Andrew Garfield is a dork? His hair is like way up here. He's carrying a freaking skateboard. Man, I hated that movie so much.
Yeah. He's gonna be back.
Tom Holland at least is like a little bit of a dweeb, but like he's way too attractive to be on the bottom tier of high school society. Peter Parker is a dork. Tobey Maguire is a dork.
That's great. What a great analysis. Gabriel Fuerza breaks down comic book movies. I think
I'll do it all day.
Yeah, this is a new.
See, I find that though when they're doing when they're doing the movies, they cast them for things like George Clooney. Okay, he's like the bottom tier for Batman, but he did play a good Bruce Wayne. So it's kind of like they're good at one thing, but they're not good at the other. Like Ben Affleck, he played a good Bruce Wayne, but not really a good Batman.
Yeah,
so that's kind of like
that's the way it ends up a lot of the times. I get it. Like they want to cast an attractive guy that's gonna bring in more fans. I get it.
Yeah.
But like, at the end of the day, like, what are you gonna do? They're never gonna get it like perfect. I think Tom Holland is about as close to perfect as they're gonna get.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it.
I kind of have to say though that Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man was like perfect.
That's true. He was pretty perfect.
I do agree with that as well. And I also think he was a perfect Iron Man, and I don't think I mean you'll still see him acting. That's how good of an actor he is. Like he's not typecasted as a superhero and an Iron Man anymore.
Yeah.
Where maybe some other people might. I don't know.
Yeah, some people are probably never gonna escape the Marvel
universe.
Funk. For lack of a better word. But hey, I mean, they paid him enough to keep him happy if they don't get any more movies. So who cares at the end of the day?
Are you into the Marvel Disney shows, the WandaVision, the Falcon and Winter Soldier? Those are the 2 newest ones that came out. Which one did you prefer?
WandaVision for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Cap and the Winter Soldier was good. But it was okay. Like the girl, the terrorist girl, I feel like they really wanted us to like sympathize with her, and I did not sympathize at all. I was on the same like pages as the U.S. agent. I'm like, shoot her in the damn head. Like she's a murderer. I don't care if she has a good cause. She killed a whole building full of people.
Yeah.
Like she's crossed the line. She is now a villain. So
okay,
I couldn't really.
Because I don't fully follow, I follow, but my brain is in 100 places. Okay, so the Emily Van Camp, the girl at the end, like the blonde who ends up being like the double agent.
Yes.
Okay, who is she?
She's Agent Carter's
Agent Carter, yeah.
Granddaughter, I think.
Something like that.
She's Agent Carter's relative, like direct, like granddaughter or something. And Agent Carter.
So was she introduced in a movie that I missed?
Yeah, one of the Captain America movies, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she was in Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Oh, she was definitely in Civil War because one of the reasons she got banished or banned or whatever word you want to use from America was because she went against the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. But I think, and I liked WandaVision way better. I just thought there was so much more to it.
I agree.
That it was great. But something that Falcon and the Winter Soldier had going against them was, and you wouldn't know this unless you were an extremely massive geek like myself, they had a whole underlying storyline that was too close to what we're dealing with COVID. That's why the girl, I don't know her name, curly hair, freckles, she was in
Carly.
Han Solo. Thank you, Carly. The lady she looked up to died. She had some sort of disease that was going around. Because right in the beginning, they stole the vaccines. There were things that were rewritten throughout that entire show that were left out. But what are you going to do, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it was okay, but WandaVision was just like a breath of fresh air.
Oh my God, it was so good. My whole family loved it.
I agree. I couldn't get, like, a lot of people told me it was really boring at first, and I completely disagree. Like I thought the first few episodes in one way, and then the second half was great in a totally different way.
Oh
like,
my God.
I love X-Files and Twilight Zone and all that sort of stuff. And like the first episode especially gave me like that vibe.
Yeah. I totally agree, because I could have continued watching the show as like TV sitcoms. I could have continued to watch it like that. It was just, everything about it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. Very good.
Something just popped in my head. Geez, I'm gonna let you go, but something just popped into my head. You're a big horror movie fan.
Yes.
I'm not. My wife is, but she's not around, so she can't participate in this conversation. But I'm not quite sure if Vanessa is a horror movie fan or not. What's your favorite? Mine is the Saw series. That's the only horror movies I watch.
Okay.
And I think they're psychological.
I mean, I don't know. Some people don't even consider them horror anymore, but like the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th stuff.
That's my wife. That's
like,
right up her alley. She was here.
Oh, I love it. Like I have a glass thing right here full of like NECA figures, like just Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street stuff. Like, it's just so fun. It's not even scary. Like I use it a lot as like an introductory horror movie for friends who kind of want to get into like horror stuff, but like, you know, it's scary, and I get that. So typically I'll start with something like that. I really liked the Evil Dead remake.
Okay.
Yes.
I liked Insidious a lot. I liked Hereditary. What else have I seen lately? Oh, I just rewatched The Others. Oh, so good.
Those solid movies.
The Others, I think, has the best jump scare of any movie.
I don't want to do that. Too old. I can't do that. I get freaked out. The Blair Witch Project was the last horror movie I saw.
Oh, okay. The remake or the
original?
Oh, okay.
And then like, not the remakes that came out, like the original, and then whatever, maybe the sequel. Maybe I watched the sequel on like TNT or something.
Yeah, they did a few kind of wonky sequels.
Yeah, but I do remember the original. It was a huge craze, and where I grew up at the time was in a small town that was kind of just like it, with a lot of woods like that. So extra creepy, and I was so scared to go watch it that I watched the matinee. So when I came out of the movies, it was daytime. That's how much of a pussy I was.
That's okay.
It's true.
I think the whole point of horror movies like is to get scared, right? Like I watch them and I'm you know, my hands are tight. I'm sweating. Like I'll jump. True. Like there's no shame in being scared. Like that's the point, right?
I suppose that's the point. Vanessa,
like a roller coaster.
Yes, and those I love. So, got anything else, Vanessa? Keep them around?
Don't.
No?
I don't. I was trying to think of like
sure
Evil Dead I agree with. Insidious, I saw that in theaters with my buddy, and God. We were screaming so loud that like everyone else was laughing at us.
Yeah, that's the best. Horror movies with like a crowd is the best because you scream and suddenly like I was horrified for a second, but I just heard you scream, so now it's funny. Now we're having fun. And then we go back to being scared. You know, that's the best experience if you ask me.
I think the only movie I like Child's Play.
I'm not watching that. Fuck
I can't do it. And the only reason why was when I was younger. Like I watched it when I was older. So like when I was like 9, my dad bought me this doll that talked.
Mm.
And I was never like a doll girl to begin with. But so I had it in my closet. And like it's one of those ones where you have to like pick it up or do something with it to make it talk. Well, it was just talking on its own.
Yeah,
don't like that.
Yeah,
so then I pulled the batteries out because I was like, "What is this?" So I pulled the batteries out, and then it was still talking.
That's fucked up.
So I was like, "Nope, I'm done." And it went in the garbage, and that was the end of it.
Good call. Definitely a good call.
All right, final question.
Hit me.
AEW Double or Nothing is this weekend on Sunday. They have a casino battle royal. There's one spot left. Is that spot you?
I wish. No, sir. I'm still rehabbing my ankle injury.
We're trying to find that surprise entrance. Not you. So it's not Gabriel Fuerza.
It's Von Vertigo.
No.
Is it
Black? I hope it is.
Is it Black Panther? I know you've.
No, I don't even have that mask anymore.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
It's not Von Vertigo. It's probably, you know who it is? Probably Psycho Mike.
Honestly, if it was anybody in Ontario, I would lose my mind. Like, I hope it is.
How awesome would that be? I have become a huge Canadian wrestling fan since this pandemic started because the show ramped up, and then I brought Vanessa on board, and Vanessa, I can't even remember who our first one Canadian wrestler was, but it was
Turva or Dukes.
It was Dukes or Turva or vice versa, and then we just kept going there. And I have learned so much on a lot of things in Canadian wrestling, and it's just great stuff. And if you're not watching it, shame on you. Just go watch something up there.
There's lots to watch on IWTV.
Yes, for sure.
Months and months worth of shows.
And even if you don't want to, you can just go to YouTube, and there's tons there too.
Yep.
YouTube as well.
Yep. For sure.
YouTube.com/Gabriel Fuerza.
There you go. Good plug. Good transition to the end. Gabriel, it's been a pleasure to have you on. We don't have a forbidden door. We've said this before. We've taken it off. So you're welcome back at any time you need to plug something or just want to talk about whatever. I don't even care.
Awesome.
The door is open, my friend. It's been an honor to talk to you and a pleasure to have you on. So have a phenomenal night.
You too. This is a lot of fun, honestly. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I will be back.
Excellent. Have a good night.
See ya.
Peace. Great. Phenomenal.